Welcome to the bandstand. Right. What is it doing here so it's a bit more sheltered? First thing I'd say is, before you listen to this one, go and read my blog on www.dash.slash.net, because I'm not going to be repeating a lot of that. Simple as that, you know. If you're wondering why I'm somewhere different, I've just been to the dentist. I've got a hole in my tooth, fell out. But a bit more serious one this time, because something happened in the early hours of the 1st of July that up till now I've never mentioned. I had a minor stroke. Now, the whys and wherefores are in the blog. Short version is, been out the night before, woke up at 5 AM in the hotel room, which apparently is just after the stroke. Couldn't move this left arm, all numb, right? Felt like I was thinking through treacle. Didn't lift. Eventually went down to one finger, but you know, I felt really fucking strange. If I hadn't had my notes, I wouldn't have got through my lecture on the second day. Got back home, I just thought, well, it's just the drink, you know what I mean? Just a hangover. Because I'd won over the 8 the night before. Then got back home, and 3 weeks later it was obvious something was wrong. My memory was shot, and when I mean shot, I mean seriously, there's like entire years of my life I'm missing now that won't come back apparently. Can't remember the birth of both of my children. I can vaguely remember cutting Kane's cord. Can't remember anything else. I lost all knowledge of digital sculpting. Anything that wasn't hard service had been wiped from my head. Memory was shot, as I say, and I felt terrible. Now, obviously the family were getting a bit worried, and I was putting off going to the doctors about it. So eventually, after being effectively doorstepped by my parents, my brother, the wife, you know, sitting there as well, and even the kids saying, look, you've got to go to the doctors, I want the doctors, the next day. I did a load of tests and immediately rushed me to the stroke unit at Durham Hospital, where they diagnosed a mini stroke and gave me a load of pills. And here comes the interesting bit, as I thought of it, you know. The type of stroke I had is normally followed by one 28 days later that's much larger. You know, the sort that either leave you, you know, unable to speak and walk, or kill you, right? Just in case anybody gets one idea, yeah, it was a serious one I was facing. So they put me on the pills, but the trouble is the pills take a week to work. Now, it was already 3 weeks afterwards, right? So I lived for a week with the sword of Damocles hanging over my head. I had to make sure I wasn't stressed, had to cut out, you know, as much of the caffeine as I could. Didn't have to do too much, because if a clot had got, you know, into the brain again, it could have, I say, lights out, you know. Or even worse, leave you as a vegetable, you know. So it was a serious time. Now, what I proceeded to do was, I thought, well, I had all these images full of models I'd done, and it's weird, I can remember starting them, like, you know, going the whack like that, and I remember seeing the finished thing. I couldn't remember anything in the middle, couldn't remember how it was done. I had a quick go for a few days, and they were terrible. It's like, you know, when you first start out, that's what it was like. It wiped everything out. All the anatomical knowledge, everything, it was like potato heads again. So I proceeded to learn again from my own videos and articles and books, and I learned myself in 2 months. Most interesting thing for the people apparently is the fact that, you know, the cathedral I did for FX PhD looks pretty nice. That was in the direct aftermath of the stroke. Now, as I said in my article, I don't know any other company in the world that would have stuck by me like FX PhD did. Mike and John really, you know, when I said I can do this, I can still do this, they believed me. It took me at face value, and I did. The fact that I managed to complete it, you know, when I'm going through 1,000,001 tests that I couldn't even think properly, and you know, I think that spoke volumes for me, and it made me realise what sort of person I am. I'm the sort of person who doesn't give up ever, and it's the one time where I was able to put it into practice, and I had to. Like, what the fuck else am I going to do? Work at McDonald's? You know, there's loads of things I could do, but see, there's other things that does not cover in the articles, like the fact that my programming knowledge, I think I've had some of that, not all of it, but some of it wiped out, which is a bit annoying. So I'm on to try and find time to go back through that again. Because there's loads of code there that's sort of half done, you know. So yeah, I've had a load of tests. I mentioned the full fatty liver thing last time. The test came back, got fatty liver syndrome, but I don't have to do any, because it's only fatty liver syndrome and not what they thought it was. No liver transplant. Great. Brain scans, I've had more bloody brain scans enough recently, and I'm waiting for the results. Won't get to find out till December. Now they know there's damage done in the frontal lobe. It's a matter of how much. But I'm functioning, I'm walking, I'm talking. My art's arguably better than it was before the bloody stroke, because of the intensive work I've had to do. It makes you re-examine the way you work. So I'm more than up to speed again. It's been a surreal experience, you know. It's like, as I said, you know, when you're sitting there learning from videos that you can't even remember recording, a subject that you only vaguely have memories of ever doing. You know, it was a mad circumstance, put it that way. But, you know, these things are sent to try us. Certainly did that. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details about what it felt like and shit, because to be honest, it's nearly impossible to put into words. Now, who do I blame for all this? I blame me. That's what I blame. I'm the only person to blame for my health problems, because I've pushed myself beyond sensible limits for years now, and you always have a time when you've got to pay the piper, right? And that's what I did, big time. I would warn people that, see, I never started doing these long hours just to try and speed up my learning process or get better than everybody else, or do this, or there's none of that motivation. The motivation is quite simple. There isn't one. I did the long hours and still do the long hours because I'm a clinical obsessive, right? This is my obsession. And anybody who's an obsessive knows what I mean. I have no control over it. If I don't, it drives me nuts. So that's why I did the long hours, because I've got to, you know. So there you go. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the battery life here. It doesn't tell me the battery when I'm recording. But yeah, so it's just for sure not everything is no. But I would say that it makes you realise how we work in an industry that forces people to go beyond sensible limits. And the moment they do, and they have a health problem, it's whoa, hands off, you know what I mean? And I realise by doing this, I've most probably made myself unemployable in any of the large companies, because they don't like employing people who have a history of big health problems, right? But I'm a freelance guy. I've got 2 kids. Chance of being relocated, I've virtually zero anyway. Plus, I thought it was more important that people realise that all the long hours you're doing, the drinking too much caffeine, for a smoker, smoking, unhealthy lifestyle, adds up. So I think I blame me. No one but me. Nobody made me do these hours. But you've got to realise there is a point at the end where you've got to pay the piper. Now I've had that, and I've been very, very lucky to come out the other side, reasonably unscathed. As I say, my sculpting's now back beyond where it was, which, you know, hopefully demonstrates to any potential employers that it's a non-issue. And the damage it's done to my brain, well, I say it's wiped a lot of memories out. A lot of important memories. Also, apparently, quite a lot of shit ones as well, so I'm quite chuffed with that. I've got very minimal memory, for example, of the whole thing with the ex, which is good. But also, it's where these things come in handy, because when I've got time, I can go through these. And yeah, it might just kickstart something off again in my head, but I doubt it. As they say, the damage is, they're pretty sure it won't come back. Won't stop me trying, though. Good Lord, no. But yeah, it's been an interesting year. Anyway, we'll move to part 2 in a second.